want to turn very quickly, if we could, to D.C. Councilmember David Grosso, who is on the line right now. Now, he's at-large member of the City Council, and of late, he's been a guy who has been proposing something rather interesting and, I would say, a bit controversial. He believes that non-citizens with green cards in the District of Columbia who have been here 30 days should be able to vote in local elections. Councilmember Grosso, it's so good to have you. Why do you believe this is a good idea?
Well, good morning, guys, and I appreciate being on the call this morning, and certainly appreciate the work you're doing for wounded veterans today and this fundraiser that you're doing. It's really important. The bill that I introduced is a pretty unique bill here in the District of Columbia because we have about 50,000 residents in the district that are foreign-born residents who are either here on a green card or in the process of getting their citizenship in some other way. Could take upwards of 10, 15 years to do that. And my theory is that during that time, they're going to have children, they're going to have other interests in local government that they should have a say in. They should have a voice in whether or not their representatives are actually doing a good enough job to make sure that their kids have good schools, that the roads are paved, and all the local things that impact them on a daily life while they're living here and working here in our city. It's also important to note that they pay taxes for that. They engage in every other part of the government, and yet they have no say. So that's the main reason why I did. I think it's also important to note that this is not impacting at all the federal side. I do believe strongly that you have to be a citizen to engage in federal elections for all the reasons that are obvious around foreign policy and things like that. But, man, this is just a, does the road get paved or not question. That's very local, and I believe that these folks should have a say in that.
All right. Well, listen, Councilmember David Grosso, I appreciate that, and I respect you coming in and defending this, but I got to tell you, we've opened this up to the great listeners of WMAL, and they live in the district, but they also live outside in outlying areas, and they commute into the district every day. And they said, listen, I'm an American citizen. I may live in Montgomery County, but I'm affected by all of those things, too. Boy, oh boy, does traffic and potholes and speed cameras and all of these other things affect me. I'm a citizen. I'm bringing my tax dollars into the district. I'm working here. I'm spending money here. Why shouldn't I have a say in what goes on in the city?
Well, I think that's a valuable question, and I think that in the end, if they want to have a say in what's happening here in our political, kind of local political arena, then I would welcome them to move into the District of Columbia, get a house, get an apartment, and engage in the process, and nothing would stop them from doing that.
I get it. You draw the line there, but is it so wrong to draw the line at citizenship? After all, if you allow a non-citizen to vote, then at this point, what is the benefit of being a U.S. citizen? When you can just be a naturalized visitor, if you can get a green card, you basically have all of the benefits.
Well, I don't think you would have all of the benefits. I think that, again, I want to point out this is not in the federal election, which is a pretty big deal. And
but not here in the district. Wait, hold on. In the district, you only vote for president. Okay, you don't vote for a congressman that has a vote. You don't vote for a senator. There is no senator, so that has a vote at least. So if you are
not yet,
if you are a resident in the district, the only difference, if you're a citizen or non-citizen, is that you can vote for president, based on your idea here, council member.
You also wouldn't be serving on juries. You wouldn't be engaging in the other regular.
That's a benefit.
That's a benefit.
Now, what's unusual here is that this is not a crazy idea. 22 states used to do this up until the 1920s. So, it's about equity. It's about these folks having a say in what's going on.
I hear you.
Denying someone else a right.
I hear you.
It's about giving these people the rights that they deserve.
Well, I don't know that they have rights because they're not citizens, but I'll take your point, and I would just point out that I think that after 30 days, people don't even know where the district building is, much less be able to make an informed vote on what's going on in the District of Columbia. Let me ask you a quick question about something else. That is, do you support the current fire chief? Because I got to tell you, after that hearing the other day, I walked away with a distinct feeling that this guy doesn't have a clue as to what's going on in his own department.
I have to say, I watched that hearing closely, and I was also just extremely surprised with his lack of grasp of what was going on with the fleet and everything. And there's a lot of complicated issues there. I think he has a lot to answer for.
Well, hold on a minute. It's one thing to say that you're surprised, but should you call for his resignation? I mean, I understand he's the mayor's appointment, but you have a say in the way things operate in the District of Columbia. Are you for his resignation?
I can't say that I've committed to that call yet. The reason is because I'm not on the Judiciary Committee. It would be inappropriate for me to step into that scenario and make that call. So for me, I am disappointed that he doesn't have a better grasp of what's going on. I have full faith in the Judiciary Committee chairman to do a good job here, and in the mayor as well to make sure that he removes him at the right time if that's appropriate.
Councilmember David Grosso is our guest. Real fast, does Mayor Gray deserve a second term? He wants it.
I haven't made a decision on that either. I'd be curious what your people think out there, and would love for you to make that call out to the public and see what they think. I think the mayor's done a decent job here, but I think he also has a lot to answer for.
All right. Well, most of people listening right now want Chris Plant to be the mayor, but we'll get to that later. David Grosso, thanks for joining us.
All right, guys.